Niall Stanage, White House columnist for The Hill, joining us right now. Let's talk about all of these former presidents and President Biden campaigning neck and neck in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Nevada. Why do you think that President Biden is not going to Nevada or even Arizona, where it's a tight governor's race and the border issues have been so much a part of the national discussion lately?
Because he would do more harm than good to the Democratic candidate, as I think your question is suggesting, Adrienne. In those states, President Biden's approval ratings are really pretty low, and Democratic candidates are trying to keep their distance from him, if not outright run away from him. So if you look at somewhere like Arizona, for example, Mark Kelly, the incumbent Democratic senator, is running quite far ahead of President Biden's standing and emphasizing that he, Kelly, is an independent voice, not just a rubber stamp for the White House.
Well, and also President Biden not going to Georgia, is it for the same reasons? I mean, President Obama clearly has a big support base there.
Yes, I mean, it's an interesting contrast between the two. I think in President Biden's case, firstly, he has low approval ratings in many of these states, and Georgia has historically, of course, tended to be Republican-leaning. The other point in relation to the Obama-Biden comparison is former President Obama is, a popular figure, but also in his oratory, in his kind of charisma, he can really rev up the Democratic base. There are very genuine questions as to whether President Biden can do that. Yes, he's respected. Yes, Democrats, of course, want a good night on Tuesday. But does he really fire them up in the way that former President Obama does? I don't see much evidence of that.
And is it shocking that Oprah Winfrey is endorsing John Fetterman?
That's a great question. I mean, on one hand, it's certainly important because basically everyone loves Oprah, right? She's one of the most widely admired people in the country. I guess that it is a break from a man who was once her protege, Dr. Oz. But, you know, broadly speaking, although Oprah is not always an explicitly political figure, I think it's pretty clear that she probably leans Democratic in her own views. She did endorse then Senator Obama all those years ago. So I don't find it hugely shocking, though it will be frustrating for Mehmet Oz, no question.
Well, and she also endorsed Stacey Abrams in Georgia. Former President Trump in Iowa yesterday. How much of this is going to be about Congress in 2022 or the presidency in 2024?
I think that's one of those all of the above questions, isn't it, Adrienne? I mean, obviously, the former president does have the capacity to fire up the Republican base, just as we talked about former President Obama doing so with the Democratic base. But there's a lot riding on Tuesday night's results for former President Trump. We know he is definitely mulling a 2024 campaign. There are some reports that that could be declared within the next month or so. So the former president wants not just a good night for Republicans, but a good night for the candidates who he specifically has endorsed. That's going to be a very important factor to watch for on Tuesday night.
All right, Niall Stanage, thanks as always. Have a great weekend.
Same to you, Adrienne.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.